There's nothing particularly difficult about it, especially on a Jeep. Now, if you're doing, I've done some other cars here and there, and they were much more difficult with all the curves and contours. I will say a JK is 10 times easier to wrap than his, I guess, like signature on the bottom of Jeep Forum said, luck favors the prepared. Was something that stuck with me. He ended up passing away when I was in college. He was an Army veteran going through some stuff and decided to take his own life, and that hit me hard.
Welcome to the Off-Road Campfire Podcast, where stories are told and legends are made. Hey, tonight we have the great opportunity to introduce and interview Carlos Chavira. I said it right. There you go. He is the DIY builder of the most famous JKU flatbed you'll ever know. JKU two-door flatbed.
Yeah, that was.
There you go. It's been featured in Baja Designs promotions, Australian magazines, and of course you have several sponsors, JS Alternators, Boss Audio Systems, S-Pods, Apex, RPM, Holly, PRP, Baja Designs, Yukon, Superlift. Man, you're rocking and rolling. Carlos, how are you, my man?
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I think all of us off-road guys have a similar look. It's all the black t-shirts and hats. So
Yeah.
Hey,
no,
Yeah, that's
they
for
make you
sure.
look skinnier.
no, hey,
That's really what I'm going for.
I wear it for
Yeah,
the
yeah,
same
yeah.
reason.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I got a black Jeep, so my whole thing looks skinnier. So if I went with a white Jeep, I didn't want to look any whiter than I already am. So
No,
yeah,
I get it for sure. Yeah, no, thank you guys for having me. I did just want to go ahead and drop some Nicky Thompson tires on there. I don't know what to say. That's on me that they got skipped, but I can't leave those guys hanging out. Had some also opportunity to work with some of these companies, so much appreciation there.
man, I've
awesome.
heard, and you got the Mickey Thompson.
The Baja Boss 42s.
Yeah,
Man, I
you
want
go.
to try those so bad.
And they run like
I-
crazy on my Jeep currently, but no
That's
self
all right.
clearance.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of guys say they will run absolutely nothing else. They've run everything, and they've gotten to those, and they say they will not run anything else.
Yeah, no, I mean, historically run all kinds of tires on my Jeeps. This is my second set of the Baja Boss MTs on the JK, and I have the Baja Boss ATs on my Ram 1500. Absolutely love this tires.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've
and
heard great things.
yeah, we got I got the Patagonia MTs, which I think are great for a different area, not your southeast. As much as I would like them to be, I don't. I love the try the bosses, man.
Yeah, I run Nittos on mine, and the biggest thing is that it's a 42 on a 17, and obviously Nitto doesn't have that, but the weight of that tire I've heard is great for the size, and I hear they ride awesome too.
Yeah, I don't have mine balanced yet. I actually had to throw them on right before New Beach. I've got a complaints going down the road for
That's
as little as I drive the Jeep on the streets, but
yeah. And they perform great off-road out here too. So that's
oh yeah. No, I haven't been able to find anything that works better than that off road. And I'd say
Nice.
that regardless of working with them or not, they're solid.
That's good to that.
So, Carlos, what in God's name got you into off-roading, man?
Yeah, I guess we got to go all the way back then. When I guess before I even got my license, I had a buddy that had a Jeep Cherokee. This was like a W, like way back in the day. And I wanted one so bad. So I told my mom, my dad, I was like, hey, I want a Jeep Cherokee. And all I did was talk about that for months. And then the day came, they bought me my first car, and they pulled up with, I was telling them that I wanted a Grand Cherokee, Jay. They pulled up with a Jeep Cherokee XJ, and I was
Even
I'm
better.
in that. Yeah, I was gonna
Even
say you
better.
must have not been that good of a kid to get a
Yeah,
grand. You
yeah,
got
exactly.
the
Yeah, they listened to half of the requests, and but I mean, yeah, they came home with like $1,000 Jeep Cherokee XJ. I mean, if I could find one for $1,000 now, I'd be all over it. But
Yes,
yeah,
all of us.
yeah, no kidding. That was a little bit of a disappointment initially because it wasn't really what I was after, but then I realized there's so much that you can do to make it what you want. So I built that on my high school budget and just kind of, I guess, working at my mom's gas station and taking every bit of money that I had to throw a set of 31s on this XJ with some oil spacers from all.
Nice.
Yeah, probably didn't even
Nice.
need them, but I knew that I just wanted to lift it and
Oh, you needed them.
yeah.
No, you needed them.
Yeah, so no, it was that was my first foray into it, and then I got a really killer deal on my senior year of high school, and then that was kind of what really kicked off the off-roading piece of it. You know, this was like my first Wrangler, my first experience having anything similar to it. I mean, the XJ is cool, and I love them to this day, but there's just kind of nothing outside of the Wrangler that does it for me, you know, the same way. So bought that YJ, same thing. It was all stock. It had a horrible tube front bumper on it. When I say tube, I mean like a galvanized
Classic.
pipe. Not even the classic one.
Classic.
It was like a galvanized
Dang.
pipe with like a hoop and two KC lights on it. And I was like,
Nice.
yeah. But no, so I started building that and ended up through college. I was really active on like gforum.com and had some really good guys helping me on there and kind of learning the ropes. Started my own build page on there for whatever reason. That build page kind of caught some people's attention and blew up. And then I ended up getting my first sponsor out of that, which was for
Nice.
front locker for the Jeep, which
Nice.
Loca Lockers, they were a sister company of Aussie Lockers at the time. I don't even know if they're still around anymore, but you know, yeah,
There you go. I said the good old cable.
yeah. No, it was good stuff. Yeah, and then I realized that I wanted to put it on 33s, and which 33s at the time were a big deal. This was back in, I don't know, 2012, 2013 maybe. So I traded an old guitar for a set of used 33s with like a millimeter tread left on them. But I had 33s. I was
Nice.
ready to go.
And
Just
it
had to
didn't
have
matter.
it.
You
Yeah,
Had to have it.
yeah,
and I was at that point too because I had the TJ. And it was like what I was around 32 or 32s on it. It's like what do I have to do to get the 33s? I
right.
don't care. It doesn't matter. Just get me to the next step.
So he
Yeah,
sold
oh
his soul. He sold his soul. And
Oh,
he
I
got his
did too.
30. We
Yeah.
all did, I
Inch
guess.
and 3/4 spacers and slam those things in there and like yes,
Yeah,
I'm good to
absolutely.
go.
No, yeah. So I mean, fast forward, that YJ ended up on a 4-inch suspension and 48.8 rear axle, 35s. Somewhere along the way, I decided I wanted to be a real estate agent for a very short amount of time. So I sold that and bought a BMW. And then I bought another BMW. And then I bought like 10 more Jeeps after that. So that's how we got here today.
I was gonna say you had to make up for lost time.
Oh yeah. We've been chasing that initial kick, that first high of buying any Jeep for a while.
So your parents gave you a XJ and you kind of souped it up. Were you a good kid with it, or did you just go out there and tear up the world
Oh
as
no,
fast as you possibly could?
no, I was a good kid. That's why they trusted me with it. I was the oldest of 4 boys, so they just kind of gave me a car and told me to go run their errands, and they were good as long as I came back home. Actually, the first day I drove it in the front drive shaft blew out of it, and that's the day
Nice.
it was the rear drive shaft, because that's the day I learned that the XJ was sucking 4-wheel drive because it kept driving while I was going down the highway with no rear collar strap. So yeah, I knew it would fix
That's
that.
awesome.
It just stayed in 4-wheel drive the whole time.
Yeah, it's probably
Yes.
still in 4-wheel drive right now. I mean, there's two owns it now, but not my problem.
It's funny.
Somebody's rocking it. Someone's rocking it straight to the mall in full 4-wheel drive.
I hope that thing's still alive, honestly. We might
Yeah,
buy it
it-
again one day.
Very cool. So you bought several Jeeps along the way. What was your most? Which one? Well, it sounds like the XJ might be on that list, but which one would you go back and unless you still had?
Honestly, I mean, outside of the X-Shade, just because it was my first car, I don't want any of the others back. But if I'm going to build something else, it's going to be on another YJ. That's kind of the next one
Yes.
on my list.
Yes.
Don't encourage Clinton, please.
Square
Like,
headlights are the way
yeah,
to
he just
go.
wants everybody on his bandwagon. XJs and YJs. As long as there's a
I would
square
just-
headlight, he's like
real Jeeps have square headlights. Change
Yeah.
my mind. I'm just
Someone tells me I've had to deal with this for years.
Yeah, probably. No, I love the YJ platform. That was kind of what really kicked me into like learning off-roading and building Jeeps. Oddly enough, I've never owned a TJ. I've owned everything else, just about. But yeah, the TJs are a little boring to me. So we'll go back old school.
I think we all have, like, anyone who got into the Jeep community on a budget usually started with a YJ or an XJ.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's that soft spot of where it started, for a lot of people, and that's what kept me into the square headlights.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it was. I was a broke kid. I had nothing, and I've kind of carried
Yeah.
that through all of the Jeeps that I've built. Where it's even though now I've got grown up money and I can kind of work the budget a little bit more, I still like to, when I'm making content, show guys that are my age or the age that I was when I started, that you can do this on a budget and you can kind of build this the way that you want, get it done without going into debt for it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times in my buddy's YJ growing up, like it was like, well, let's make it bigger. Well, let's just open up the springs and add another leaf and see what that does. Take this one out and put that one in and see how big it gets and see what tires we can slam underneath it after that.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I think the real big upgrade was the spring over. Like
Oh,
when
yeah.
you could do that, that took you to another level.
No,
Of course, it also hopped you into another atmosphere
that's
when you got on anything, but it was still raised the roof for sure.
Yeah, that definitely took it to a different level. Mine, actually, I missed the YJ was sprung over, a leaf springs up front, and then a 4-link in the rear on coil. So it
There
was
you go.
kind of a mix of both worlds. Saved your kidneys a little bit, but you still had the leaf springs up front. So,
Still hop like crazy.
oh yeah, and it was every Jeep I had wasn't a driver until the current one. So I'm a blood for punishment, I guess.
Well, did you grow up in a big town, or was it like 20 minutes across town that you had to drive on a daily drive, or was it like two-horse town and a one traffic light?
No, it's a very spread out town, like central North Carolina.
Okay.
So it was like where I lived, it was going to be 15, 20 minutes to get to anywhere. But when you're in town, everything is kind of in one spot. So
Yeah, gotcha. What's you have any run-ins with the law as a kid?
and I've been pulled over for speeding more times than I can count. That's kind of that's
All
about
in the
it.
Jeep, or was it in the BMW?
The BMW probably just as much as all the Jeeps combined, but yeah, that's the for whatever reason, man, these cops in North Carolina, they see me coming and they just gravitate towards me.
Hey,
That's not
I think
it.
one of the
I've kept my nose
worst
clean.
ones I got. One of the worst ones I got was just north of Greensboro, going into Virginia.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
was pulling my Jeep up there, and you get those rolling hills, and I just got some momentum going, And yeah, he was like, yeah, at the top of that hill you were doing 75. I was like, yeah, man, it was like 5 hills ago, man. I'm rocking and rolling now, buddy. And you
Gotta
stopped
keep
me,
it.
killed my momentum.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's funny.
Yeah, I got to right before I crossed the Virginia line. It's he nailed me there. So statute of limitations. How fast did you get the Beamer up to?
Honestly, probably it was definitely under like 120. It wasn't a go fast car, but I milked it for everything it had. So I've definitely I've I've learned my lesson. Speed is not something that I try to chase anymore. I'd rather just kind of pick where I'm gonna pick my line and take it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's why we drive Jeeps, right?
Oh yeah.
Because they're not usually fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm struggling with you saying that, Mister. You know, um, V8 conversion.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But still, I
So
mean, like even today, we're test driving an Elephant. It's 1,000 horsepower Jeep, and we didn't have a tag, and I was like, I didn't realize till after we were doing our data log pulls, and thank God I haven't had issues with the police, which is great. Knock on wood, I probably should. But
well, the one person that's going to listen to this podcast is going to call him for you. So
that's great.
right.
That's great. That's awesome.
So Carlos, you bought a JKU 4-door and just knew it right out of the gate. You were going to chop the tail end off and make it a 2-door and make it a flatbed, or what?
I don't think it was that clear of an idea. So I bought the JKU, and then for like probably the first few months, I was just gonna have like a cool JKU build. And then this was probably right around the same time at a Easter Jeep Safari when I started to get the idea, and I saw the Sandstorm Jeep, which is this super rad like orange JLU that they did like rear closeout doors. It was open aired in the back, just had like friggin' panels and whatever, and it was like just the coolest Jeep I've ever seen. And so I was like, all right, well, that's pretty rad. It's definitely not very daily-able at that point because it doesn't have a closed-in top. I don't care. That's what I want. So I started to build that kit for the JK. I actually got everything done. It was like custom doors, a custom roof panel, custom side panels. There's a couple pictures way back on my Instagram, I'll just say. But it came together pretty well. And then I ran into Matt at Greg Thompson. He started talking about a two-door truck conversion that he wanted to do. And I threw my name in the hat to be the guinea pig for it. And so now he's making a kit that does what we did with my Jeep, just with kind of a no bed. You can kind of pick your own bed. He wanted to do like a Ford Ranger truck bed. I wanted to do something a little bit different, so I built the flatbed that I have on there now. And
Yeah, that's great.
that's kind of been my, I guess, what made everything online take off a little bit.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I know it's been through 2 or 3 wraps.
Yeah,
Right?
I get pretty bored. It's originally black, and then somewhere along the way was kind of horse trading and managed to get a set of half doors, and I traded my black doors for it. And then I was like, I hate these half doors, so sold the half doors, bought some white doors. So if you look at it without the wrap, it's kind of black with white doors, and then the bed is primer basically. That's the wrap is serving a whole lot of additional purpose. But I do get bored with
Nice.
it, and I've given it my fair share of attempts in trying to change this thing up every once in a while with a different color.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Changing it up, giving it a fresh look.
How bad is it? I guess the only thing that ever holds me back from wrapping is how bad you're gonna rip it or tear it up or
Oh, you mean like going through trees and stuff like
with
brush?
the rocks, scrubbing it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, honestly, I've never had rat fail from off-roading. If rat fails is generally from the install. And so if you look closely enough in my Jeep, you'll see that all the places that I messed up on the install and haven't gone back to fix. Yeah, it's honestly, it is. I'd rather go bombing through the woods in a wrap Jeep than just have all of the trees and limbs smacking the paint directly.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. There's no way I'm gonna wrap my Jeep. I do not have the patience for that, so I give you props. Um,
Yeah,
I'll probably get
a
halfway
lot.
through it and be like, "Nope, I'm done. Just cover everything and call it good."
Yeah. No, it definitely is
Yeah,
one of those things
that's
that takes time and patience, and that's it. Like there's nothing particularly difficult about it, especially on a Jeep. Now, if you're doing, I've done some other cars here and there, and they were much more difficult with all the curves and contours. I will say a JK is 10 times easier to wrap than a JL because there's not a single flat body thing on a JL that you don't have to remove something from, put vinyl down.
yeah, that's every time I see guys do it, like it's just a tedious process.
Yeah. Yeah, luckily I only have about half a Jeep to do, so it
Yeah,
saved me
Well,
some
yeah,
time.
you've cut it in half, and I was gonna say you made a comment about your half doors, and I'm like, well, that's I'm looking for half doors for my Jeep. Well, yours was half the price of mine, so
No, I got all four, so but nevertheless, it's still. I have an old YouTube video about all the reasons why half horse suck. So I'm not a big fan of them. I'll rock them occasionally, but it's not my go-to generally.
well, that may be a question we have down the road: is full doors or half doors or no doors?
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess I'll go ahead and answer that one now. I'm team no doors specifically because since the LS swap, I don't have air conditioning.
Yeah,
So
no
That'll
doors
do
that's
it.
for sure.
the only reason.
Yeah, my
Makes
old
sense.
TJ didn't have AC, but I bought it in Colorado where they didn't sell air conditioning. So it just didn't happen. No, it's probably the one reason I'm glad I don't have a TJ anymore, because I do love riding around and just getting some cold air blowing in my face.
Yeah, even if you
Um,
have the doors off, having AC running
yeah, just having
helps.
something
Yeah.
blowing your face
Yeah,
is
it makes a big
fantastic.
difference.
So you did a 6.0 swap.
Yeah, no, that's
Where'd you get the motor? Why'd you choose that one?
so I kind of back to the whole like trying to show people that you can do build Jeeps on a budget kind of thing. Um I literally rebuilt junkyard motor from a local engine builder in South Carolina. He, I guess, went through, refreshed the top end, whatever, and threw a can in there for me. I have never done serious engine work. I've done everything else there you can do to a Jeep, but I mean, this wasn't going to be the time that I was going to try my hand at rebuilding a motor. So I ended up buying one. This was my first attempt at doing an engine swap front to back. So, yeah, we went to 6.0 LQ9. So it's the LS family, but it's got the, I guess, the cast iron block instead of the aluminum block. And then a 4L80E transmission, kept the stock Jeep transfer case, and the Jeep's on 1 tons on a Kingpin 60 and 14 volt. So all of that stayed, and yeah, the engine came together pretty well, and honestly, I learned so much in that process, having to document it for
Oh yeah,
YouTube and
right.
social media. It's just like I had to learn what it was I was going to do so that I could then tell someone else how to do it and what you're
Right.
doing and all of that. So yeah, that was a really cool thing. Be able to bring to the guys that are following me and watching. Holly EFI helped out a lot with that, with a bunch of parts here and there, and it's running on Holly Terminator system. Yeah, it's all in. Forget what the total cost was if you're going to do it yourself, but it's the more budget friendly option. I'm assuming that you don't have to pass emissions inspection somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. The engines are probably, no, engines are definitely low on my knowledge base. I can pretty much work it out. I save all the nerd engine stuff for Clinton and let him figure that out. It's just not, it is a different beast when you're swapping, getting in there with the wiring
Yeah,
and
it's a big overhaul. And it's especially doing it yourself and learning it yourself. There's a lot more little parts and pieces that don't take, you don't.
Oh yeah, for sure. I learned really quickly that you can do one thing wrong and it's never gonna run. It's
Yeah.
as easy as putting ground on the wrong location, right? And so luckily there's a ton of videos online and honestly YouTube has kind of taught me just about everything that I know as far as swapping engines goes. So I just kind of tried to take that, learn how to make it work for a Jeep, and then repackage it and show others like, hey, this is what I did. This will get might not be the route that you want to go, and here's the reasons why. But
Yeah.
this is a viable option for you for sure.
So like you took the budget friendly route on an LS swap on a JK platform. What was like a general ballpark and would you do it again that same budget or would you do it a different way?
So I think if I remember right, the overall cost, including retail prices for all the parts and um, engine and transmission, which was a huge piece of that, it was right around $14,000 probably. Which I get it. That's not really budget friendly.
But
But
I mean,
again,
your V8, you're getting a V8,
right,
and
right,
we install V8s and it's 40 grand. So
right,
it
exactly.
is definitely a budget option.
And that's a good point. That's kind of, I mean, honestly, if I would have gone with a builder kit, the kit itself, without the engine and anything else, you're looking at north of 10, 15 grand. So
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
was the way for me to do it that was going to not like put me in the poorhouse and then also show you that it can be done, this way. So
Yeah.
this is as far as if I would do it again the same way, probably not. And the reason I say that is because now that I know I can do it this way, I kind of want to do it with a builder kit, a drop-in kit,
Yeah.
like RPM or whatever, and just see
Yeah.
how much more refined that is versus the way that I did it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. That's totally understandable.
yeah. I mean, I can hop in the Jeep and drive it anywhere today, even though it's really loud and I don't want to. But I feel like there's probably something to be said about having someone who's thought through and figured everything out and created a kit and will stand behind the product to bounce ideas off of when you get stuck. So that definitely helps.
For sure. For sure.
yeah, Clinton and I talked about this last time in our last episode, but I think we're living in one of the greatest eras because late 90s, early 2000s, I mean, to learn how to rebuild and install an engine swap wouldn't happen.
You're
Yeah,
blinded. You're blind.
Yeah, you're calling somebody and you're paying some. But honestly, the internet today is, I mean, you really have absolutely no excuse not to learn something and not to figure something out on your own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's huge. Honestly, out of all the social media that I do, YouTube is the most important to me, even though I've neglected it a lot this year.
Yeah.
It is.
I have as well.
Yeah, it's one of those things, man. Like,
It's a lot of work.
it is a lot of work, but it's also like you can learn so much from YouTube.
Yeah.
And even if you're not learning, you can just have a ton of entertainment there, right? So I'm just trying to shift from more of the like less of the install stuff and less of the like how to's. I want to get into more entertainment and adventures now that the Jeep is the build's kind of coming to a close. Well,
Yeah.
but
And I think that's a great outlook on a future, YouTube stuff. So
yeah, I just gotta learn how to be entertaining.
well, you got a badass Jeep, so it's already a good start.
The Jeep gets in a lot
Yeah,
of
you're halfway
places.
there.
Yeah, there you go.
You're halfway there.
If you can
So,
have a badass Jeep and break things, you can entertain.
The problem is I don't film when I'm breaking stuff. We were involved in some month ago, and I broke a front axle sub shaft, and nobody else saw it. So actually,
Dang.
there was one video, but it wasn't any good. So yeah,
Yeah.
so my 10-year-old goes with me a lot of times when we go out to run out to gulches, and I'm like, here, hold the camera, do this.
right.
Yeah, I get about a 5-second shot, and then my attention span kicks in, and I'm staring at the dirt, and I get home, and I'm like, this is nothing. I can't use absolutely none of this. I can use. Thanks,
Yeah.
sweetheart. I love you. You're awesome. You're amazing. If you can just hold that camera for like a full 30 seconds, that would be fantastic.
Yeah,
That's
and
good stuff.
Yeah,
honestly, I need to just hire somebody to come out with me and film when we
Yeah.
go off roading. That's kind of, I mean, when that's someone's job and they're there to do it, it's gonna get done. And versus, oh hey, can you just yell to the guy in front of you? Can you film this for me? And I mean, we're there to wheel. We're not there to. Obviously,
Right.
I like to capture it because I like to share it with other people. I'm not going to slow up anybody else's day for me to get content for the internet.
Yeah. Yeah. That's understandable.
So social media, you're rocking what? If I remember right, I'm gonna start over 42,000 something. But you're up there.
Something like that. It's
So
it's probably going down right now because I haven't even posted, but yeah,
well, I mean, it's definitely going to go down after we post this podcast and people start listening to it. You're like, those two, and you're on that. No, we're done with you.
yeah.
So this will not help the credibility or the numbers at all. Social media, blessing or a curse?
Honestly, as much as everybody complains about it, and I complain about it a lot because there's so much that goes into it. It has been very useful for me. It's been, I have to call it a blessing because I've made some killer friends through social media. I mean, I've made like literally guys that are going to be by my side through thick and thin, through everything. I met them online. Some of them I've never met in person, and then when I do meet these guys in person, it's like we've been friends forever.
That's cool.
And I've met some awesome companies. Some people from really cool companies that I've always looked up to. For whatever it was, whether it's lights or axle parts or whatever. These I've been able to get really entrenched in what owning a business in this space is like, just by hearing these stories and meeting people.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I agree with you fully. What the heck? I probably started on social media a year ago, maybe,
Mhm.
and my wife chuckled at me because she was like, "You realize you decided to do this a year ago, and now all of a sudden Clinton are doing a podcast together, and you're interviewing people, you're ringing phones. It's taken me to places that I never, not being a part of it, I was sitting on my couch, I wouldn't have done.
Yeah,
Just tinkering
definitely.
with my
Yeah.
Jeep, I wouldn't have done.
Yeah. It definitely
Um,
opens doors for sure.
then yeah, I agree. I think
I mean, honestly, that's how I got my job is my Cherokee. I built it for YouTube. I literally filmed it all and brought it to Ruby Trucks, and then that's how I got my job. I mean, literally. So,
yeah,
it is a blessing, but it can be, debilitating because you feel, this urge to always feel like you need to post stuff and have the craziest whatever to be something on social media anymore. But you're right. It's really about the people and the companies.
yeah. Like I said, I think the people that you meet along the way kind of outweighs all the negative stuff. But trust me,
Totally.
there's days where I'm just like, man, I want nothing to do with this anymore.
Right.
And then the old, you got to stay out of the comments thing.
You got to.
That's definitely part of it, you know. Not everybody likes me out there, I guess.
Yeah, that's just,
But I
unfortunately,
think
the media. Go ahead.
my biggest revelation was, I mean, heck, I've lived in South Carolina now for almost 20 years, and I've had a Jeep that whole time, and I never thought off-roading was a thing here. Heck, until I found social media, I didn't even know gulches existed. Of course, I found social media when Facebook first came out, and everybody got on it. But I would have known gulches exist, and then beyond that, heck, even in the last year, I had the Columbia, South Carolina area is dumbfounding how many people have very large accounts through social media that live in this area.
Yeah.
And if it's happening here in Columbia, I guarantee you it's happening in the rest of the areas that four-wheel drive is and off-roading is actually more popular.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. That was something that I didn't know when I did move. When I moved to Columbia, I didn't realize that half the people that I interact with online are already there, you know. And so that's one of those things where it's just kind of like you never know who you're gonna run across, and you build
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
relationships, and you never know where life's gonna take you. You know, those doors open up, and one day you'll end up somewhere with someone you never thought you'd actually meet, or you wouldn't have crossed paths with otherwise.
Yeah. What would be your best advice you would give somebody starting out in social media world?
Uh, Honestly, I feel like I kind of had a cheat code because my thing from the beginning was just to build something different that other people hadn't seen, you know, and that's not really possible for everybody, you know, depending on your situation or whatever. But honestly, it is the best advice I could probably give would be to just do it because you enjoy it. Like do it because you wanna take photos and you wanna take videos and you wanna have something to look back on and try it along, you know, to scroll back through. And then if you do that with even the slightest amount of something different or some entertainment value or whatever that is, you can take off. Yeah. I mean, there's guys that started within the last 12 months that are double, triple my following, you know, just because they had something special, you know, and even and girls too. I mean, there's girls that are just popping up and getting sponsorships with companies that I worked for like 5, 6 years to be able to even be in the same room as, you know, and they're immediately, but they're doing the work and they're making the content and they're bringing value to these companies. And honestly, that's what it's all about. If you're the company, you just need someone to raise the value, and they're doing it.
Yeah, well, we're not going to go down the road of why they may have an advantage. We're going to stay off that track. So, hey, you talked about Moab. First off-road trail or place you went four-wheeling?
My first trail was a perfectly legal power lines trail
Sure was.
in like Durham, North Carolina. So it was called Page Road, and we went. So me and a bunch of buddies decided to go up there one day and had a blast. And then we turned it into a kind of a monthly thing. We created an off-road club called Raleigh Area Wheelers, or RAW, because it couldn't be a Jeep club because one of my buddies had a Land Cruiser. And
Nice.
yeah, no, that turned into being a pretty cool thing until it eventually got shut down. And then I've done a lot of the off-roading on the East Coast, just about anything I could get to and make it home. Now I've got a truck and trailer, so I'm planning to do some further trips and not be as worried about driving a Jeep home at the end of the day. But yeah,
That's always a better feeling with a trailer.
yeah, for sure.
How many times did you do the Moab?
I've been in Moab 4 times. I have never had my Jeep there. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
So my Jeep has stayed home every single time, and I've cried like a baby watching it roll out South Carolina. Yeah, I've been there. I've been there 4 times, and every single time it's just like the most beautiful place in the world. That whole area of Utah and Colorado and Grand Canyon area, I love it out there.
Yeah. What? I mean, I guess my favorite trail you've ridden on.
Honestly, I feel like
Please tell me somebody gave you the left seat for a little bit.
well, it's been a while. I read shotgun with my buddy. I couldn't even remember the name of the trail. That's the one thing about when I'm not driving. I'm just there having a good time.
Yeah,
So,
you're just there chilling.
Yeah,
You're not
exactly.
paying attention about.
Yeah,
And there's nothing wrong with that.
yeah.
No, you could care less about how you hit an obstacle. Just don't
Yeah.
send over.
Right.
And
Just keep
and make me walk out of here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep me safe. Let me get home, and we'll all have a cold beer at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Look, true. Entirely true. Yeah. I'm paying a lot less of attention when I'm not driving.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
What would be your bucket list trail?
Honestly, I'm really, really itching to get out of Sand Hollow. I
Right.
feel like so, not Moab in particular, but Sand Hollow it's when I go out west again, I'm going there, and I'm taking my Jeep.
Yeah, I want to go so bad out there. I really do.
I've got so many friends that live like a stone's throw away from, so they're all out of their backyard, and they're in Sand Hollow. So I was hoping to get the trail here this year. I don't think it's gonna work out, but definitely next year's that's my goal. That's gonna be my trip, even if I skip all of the Jeep shows.
Yeah, I've been offered a ride seat at Trail Hero, and it's one of those things like you're like, yes, I want to go,
Yeah,
but no, I don't want to go sit in someone's ride seat. I like,
Yeah.
but I
It's
don't.
tough.
I'm simply. I want to experience. I want to see it. I still want to go to KOH.
yeah, I do too.
Even though from what I understand, it's utter chaos. That would be a place I don't care if I'm on a right seat or not, because I'm just not competing with everybody out there during that time. That's like going to a NASCAR race. I'm not trying to race everybody to the track. I'll go watch the race, call it good, and go home. But yeah, Trail Hero and Sand Hollow is definitely on the list. It's for sure one of those places that you got to hit at some point in time.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, honestly, if you're going to one of those places during an event, then that's when I feel like that's the best time to do it. Going to Canada or taking you to Johnson Valley anytime. And if you're going there to wheel, great. I like to be in the same place as everybody else, so I can see all of my people that I get to see 2 or 3 times a year and just have a good time. That's what all the Jeep shows are: Jeep Beach and Jeep Invasion. That's where all of my people show up close to me for like a week, and we just get to hang out and have a blast.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So
Speaking of Jeep, go ahead.
You're on it. Go for it.
Speaking of Jeep Invasion, you're gonna be there? What booth are you gonna be in?
Yeah, and still finalizing the booth. There's a couple options that trying to determine I guess it really comes down to if I want my Jeep locked up in the show all weekend, or if I want to be able to take it and drive it. Those inside booths is really, really nice to be in here and have air conditioning, but you're trapped in there for the week. It's it's going to come down to kind of a game time decision out there.
Yeah, I'll be inside, so.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, if it is inside, it'll be at the Baja Designs booth. Either Baja Designs or JS Alternators, they'll be outside, so you'll see it at
You guys have fun. I'll be a Windrop. So, bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll spend one day over there, and then we're going back.
Honestly, that's the
That's
best way
awesome.
to do it. If my Jeep didn't have
Yeah.
to be locked at the show, then I'd be all over that.
Well,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
we're there Sunday and
That's
Monday, so come on.
but yeah, maybe I
It's
can
tempting.
squeak out of work a couple extra days.
So you said you're done pretty much primarily with the flatbed, which where was a Jeep ever really done?
Yeah, it's
So
but
I was just, dude, go for it.
I say I'm done pretty loosely. There's still a lot
Yeah.
that I need to address or am planning to address. Yeah, suspension will end up being the next thing on the list. It's currently it's been on a super recommend on kit for almost 5 years now, and it is the best performance suspension I've ever run. But now I'm at this point. I've done everything else. If I'm going to continue building, then long arms are the next logical thing. And
Yeah.
I mean, frankly, I should have done it a long time ago. But at the same time, I've been super stoked with how it performs off road. So a little iffy on actually committing to it because I don't want to mess anything up. Long arms, coilovers, maybe be changing out the armor for a new setup here relatively soon. We'll see.
So what's the next project?
The next project I'm working on right now is actually my new data driver. So low Udemy, it's 2019 Granite. So
Okay.
I'm working on that little by little. Had some cool partners want to come on for that, and so trying to sneak that into the social media without missing off too many G people. But yeah, it's
I mean, what's your goal with it? Overland, rock crawl it, 2-door, 4-door. What is it?
I want it's a 4-door short bed. Basically, the goal is to just make it look like the badass tow rig. That's kind of all there is to it. So it's not.
Perfect.
I've got
Purpose.
something to take me off roading. I'm not a camper, so you're not going to catch me doing an overland build. I'd rather go and build a trail and take a hot shower and sleep in the air conditioning. So on that guy.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, so it's just gonna be I got some Baja Designs lights on there and working with a couple other companies for some little stuff here and there. Nothing crazy. Some boost auto tow mirrors, those are going on there pretty soon, and whatever else they want to shoot over to me. But yeah, there's keep it nice, clean, classy, thread off-road wheels and Mickey Thompson tires, and it's kind of just a nice little day to driver. Hopefully it doesn't get beat up here in the city in Charlotte too badly.
Well, if you're going to piss off Jeepers from building a tow rig, those are Jeepers that need to be pissed off.
Yeah.
Because they obviously don't have the goals in mind that they need to have. They need to get their eye on the prize. So if you don't have a goal of getting a tow rig and a trailer and pulling that down the road, if that doesn't light your fire, then go find a different sport.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
No, definitely. I think I'm probably in it and wrapping the Jeep a different color. We'll wrap the truck and match it, and then
Nice. That'd be sick.
it'll make for a nice setup going down the street.
yeah, if money was no limit, I could tell you exactly what I would paint my truck, my trailer, my Jeep. And I came up with that in 1998.
Yeah.
And I still do it today. So, goals. We'll get there one day.
Yeah, for sure.
One of the things we talk about around here is just mottos. I mean, obviously building a JKU 2-door flatbed in your garage takes a lot of motivation and a lot of commitment. What is kind of your motto to continue to innovate, grow? I mean, get out, get the drive to do this kind of stuff. What's your motto in life?
Yeah, so I guess that's kind of like a two-part question. The first part is sweet and simple, and then it's the shirt I'm wearing right now. It's garage built. It's just working every day, wrenching in your driveway, wrenching in your garage, and no disrespect to the Roomba trucks of the world, but
Yeah, I get it.
There's something a little bit fulfilling about wrenching on something yourself, you know.
Of
Um,
course, absolutely.
Even though, trust me, I would love to drop something off with a blank check and come back in a few months, and maybe
But
one day I'll
you
do
de
that, you know.
you definitely have more passion when you do it yourself, and
For
the
sure.
attachment. It's more special.
Yeah.
Hold on, you gotta drop a blank check off and you drop your Jeep off? I'm gonna just drop my Jeep off.
Hey, you haven't shopped at River Trucks, have you?
Yeah,
I was just
it's
gonna
not
drop
cheap.
I was just gonna put my Jeep in the front yard and be like,
Yeah.
move it when you're ready.
No, yeah, that's but on the flip side of that, I've always I guess without getting super deep into it, one of my mentors, one of my really good friends, way back in high school, I met him on Jeep Forum. Back to one of those relationships of online. Never actually met this guy in person, but he taught me everything there was to know about wide race. And his name was Nick. And every his I guess like signature on the bottom of Jeep Forum said luck favors the prepared. And
Love it.
yeah,
That's sick.
and it was that I read that once and it stuck with me. And he would always make fun of me because I was never prepared anytime I ran into something like that, whether it was a flat tire, not having a spare, or having a spare, not having a jack, or whatever it was, you know. And so he would get on to me about that all the time, and it was something that stuck with me. He ended up passing away when I was in college. He was an Army veteran going through some stuff and decided to take his own life, and that hit me hard and turned into, okay, well, now I need to do what I can to share his story, keep his kind of motto alive. So I started an apparel company called Luck Favors the Prepared, and
Awesome.
through the motto on some shirts, and then turned that into basically a nonprofit. So I'm donating everything that ever sells on there to veteran suicide prevention.
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's something that I've gotten away from a little bit lately, and frankly, I know I still own the domain. I'm not sure if the website's live currently, but that's something that I'm hoping to get back into this year and start pushing a little bit more of.
I was
That's
gonna
cool.
say, well, let's go. Nick would probably give you a swift kick in the ass and tell you to get your shit together,
Yeah.
and get in gear,
Yeah,
and
he
be
would for sure.
prepared. I mean, that motto's fantastic. I love it.
Mhm.
Because it's,
It is.
it goes along the lines of piss poor preparation, and that's exactly what it is. I get heckled all the time that I don't have business cards in my pocket,
Yeah,
and I'm horrible with putting them in my pocket, but it's that kind of mentality.
right.
Um,
Well, it is the perfect scenario because if I was prepared, I would have known that this question would come out today and we'll have 70 lives so that all of the viewers can go and check it out. You know what it is? There's an Instagram page, Luck Favors and Prepared. Favors is spelled with, I guess, the English version of it, so with a U. But you'll find it. You'll search it up.
well, I got a few days of editing, so you better get
Yes.
your stuff together.
Yeah, that gives me some
Um,
time.
and then it goes live. So, um, yeah, that's awesome. That's a great quote. I love it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it
So,
is.
Carlos, man, thank you very much. Tell them how
Yeah,
do they get a hold of you?
yeah, no, for sure. A guywithajeep.com is my website, and it's some the full builds kind of download with links to all the parts and pieces, as well as a bunch of pictures. Well, a guy with a Jeep on YouTube, a guy with a Jeep on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Somehow that name wasn't taken, and I swooped in and grabbed it. So,
It's awesome.
yeah, that's where I'm at. Come find me. Let's chat.
And your Luck Favors the Prepared website again is?
Latest LFTP brand.
Sweet.
Yeah, that'll get linked on the website pretty soon as well. If it isn't already, I'll have to double check.
Well, Carlos, this has been fantastic. I love learning from from builders, especially DIY guys and guys that just knuckle down, do it, see a vision, get it done, even though you're probably not prepared half of that time. But, and nonetheless, you persevere through it, and you make it happen. I love learning from folks like that. This has been an absolute pleasure. And I thank you for taking the time to join us and hang out with us today. So thank you very much. My name's Ryan. I run the Jeep Next page, and this is my buddy Clinton
From JC Jeeps.
and Ruby Trucks as well.
Yeah,
so
Ruby Trucks as well.
we thank you all for joining us today, and hopefully come back for another great interview. We'll meet another wonderful person just like Carlos. Hey, thanks. Have a great day. See you soon.
See you guys.
Yeah, yes. Thanks for having me.